when you see so many people of our village holding hands, the length and breadth of that village. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. What has gone on in Orlando is absolutely shocking and terrible, and I think each and every one of you will join in me in saying that your thoughts are 100% with them and indeed with their families. It's an atrocity, and it could have happened to us here in this village. We've got to make sure it doesn't by all standing together and remembering our sanctuary is our village. Thank you each and every one of you coming tonight. I have no more words other than thank you. Thank you very much.
Execution of people for the crime of enjoying themselves. It surpasses any kind of understanding that we have. It challenges any attempt at empathy and goes way beyond that. It's such a shocking thing. We're left, every one of us, with that sense of helplessness, that sense almost of hopelessness, except we're left with two things. We're left, as Carl said, and the thing that you applauded, love and each other. And those actually are absolutely vital because we have got each other. Just think of somebody that you love now, and let's make sure that sense of love defies those who would make the kind of action that disfigured not Orlando, but disfigured this world. Let's reach out to each other and say, together, our love will build that world of tolerance. And I will give you, every one of you, this commitment. This isn't a night for long speeches, but I do want to say this. We've got with us Greater Manchester Police. I'm the Police and Crime Commissioner. We will challenge hate crime of whatever source in our city region because it's not the Manchester way of doing things. We're here to love each other. We're here to protect each other. We will challenge hate crime. We'll challenge the kind of hate crime that grows small and grows into the kind of atrocity that we saw and heard about yesterday in Orlando. Our love must challenge that hatred in our midst. Thank you for being here. You are the world.
Thank you. My name is Constable Craig. I'm one of the two leads for LGBT issues on Manchester City Council, Councillor Peter Coxon. And whilst I'm really proud to be in a city like this, to see so many people before me tonight, I think we can't get away from the sadness of the reason that we're here. And this isn't the first time, sadly, that we've had to come together as an LGBT community, or we've had to come together as a city to commemorate lives that have been lost. Global atrocities have happened across the world, and every time Manchester has stood shoulder to shoulder with the victims. It doesn't matter more that the people in Orlando were LGBT. An LGBT life doesn't matter more than a life lost in Paris, in Baghdad, or in Turkey. But it hurts. As LGBT people, it hurts. It hurts because we know every day the realities of the decisions that we make to be ourselves. It hurts because LGBT people, but as our allies and our supporters and people across the city. And to remember that we will not let people like this win. We don't know the details, and we may never know the details of that man's true motivations, but we know this. He chose LGBT people in an LGBT space to kill, and we can't ignore that, and we have to remember and call it out for what it is. But we have to remember that we cannot let a man like that win, because we will have the fight again and again, and we have to stand up. We have to show that we are on the right side of history when it comes to making these fights for equality for LGBTQ people across the world. And we will stand together. And I hope Manchester will stand together against the forces that seek to divide us with our neighbours. Because let's be clear, Muslims are not our enemies. We are a city of Manchester. To division.
And I want to start by thanking you all for coming tonight. And let's talk about what this is. This is about murder. This is about murder for people, who they are and who they love. And LGBT communities, we're strong and resilient, but we're also vulnerable, and there's those in the world that would wish us harm. And Manchester, I'm really proud that tonight we stand as a strong community to send a message out to the world that we will not tolerate hate, we will not tolerate fear, and we will not tolerate discrimination for the people that we love and for us, simply because of who we are and who we love. So we need to stay strong and stand together. And let's be really clear that we're standing with the Muslim community, not against it. We stand with the Muslim community, not against it. So we in Manchester are saying a loud message to people across the world, loud and clear. We're united in love, not hate. So this is a message about love tonight. It's about the love that we have in our village, in our venues, in our community spaces, in our pride events, the way that we can come together as a community. And we as Manchester show the world that an attack on one of us, on any of us from the LGBT communities, is an attack against freedom, an attack against tolerance, an attack against love itself. So we must stand proud, we must stand united. And one of the things that we have to do is to turn intolerance into acceptance, turn fear into hope, turn hate into love. We must always rise against hatred in any of its form. So we need to stand loud, we need to be proud, we need to have a strong voice as a community, and we must never ever be silenced by those who think they do not think we deserve the right to exist. We must and we will stand together against fear, against hatred, and against murder. And of course tonight, it's really important that we send our love to those that have lost their lives, to their families and friends, and the LGBT community in Orlando. We stand with you. And we also shouldn't forget that Saturday's club night at Pulse in Orlando night featured Latina drag queens and trans women on its advertising. We must remember that this event is part of the wider issue of LGBT hate crime around the world, which affects all of us, in particular trans people and people of colour. And it's also been reported that Pulse earned its name partly from one of its owners as a tribute to her brother, who died from AIDS. The name Pulse was for her brother's heartbeat, which she wanted to keep alive with the creation of the club. So the least we can do in Manchester and across the world is to keep their memory alive, keep that pulse alive, and live our own lives so that we live every moment filled with love and free from hate. And by being here this evening, we keep people's memory alive. We keep that pulse alive, and we live our own lives so that we live every moment filled with love and free from hate. So being here this evening, I want to thank you all on behalf of everyone at LGBT Foundation, including our staff, trustees, volunteers and service users. Let's not forget, we're one community, a really fantastic, diverse community. I can see the diversity in front of me tonight, and it's absolutely amazing. We need to stay loud, we need to be vocal and a noisy community. Love is stronger than hate. Thank you.
I'm Vice Chair of Sparkle National Transgender Charity. I'm also part of the Manchester Pride Board. And more importantly, I am part of this massive family and community which is the LGBT community. I am so proud to see everybody here tonight. What a gesture of love and support you guys have actually shown. But we stand together and we're only separated by water. And we stand with our brothers, sisters and friends across in Orlando. Now this park here, it's a place for our community. It's a place where we party and sparkle. Manchester Pride, the Village People Weekend, and it's also the place where we remember those we have lost through HIV and transgender in the UK. It's somewhere where we place the ashes of our loved ones, or with the Trans Memorial, which is where we remember those lost to time. And all brings up their claims that everything sees and all of them as an act of pure hate against the LGBT community. And although the act took place in the Pulse nightclub, it wasn't the Pulse nightclub that was attacked. It was an attack on the LGBT community all over the world. These they will never ever stop us. So we have one united message in our community. Every voice, every bond, only makes us stronger for the next generation of our LGBT brothers and sisters. Thank you, everybody.
Jr., 34 years old. Stanley Almodovar III, 23 years old. Luis Omar Ocasio Capo, 20 years old. Juan Ramon Guerrero, 22 years old. Eric Ivan Ortiz Rivera, 36 years old. Peter O. Gonzalez Cruz, 22 years old. Luis S. Vialma, 22 years old. Kimberly Morris, 37 years old. Eddie Jamalri Justice, 30 years old. Darrell Roman Bird II, 29 years old. Deonka Deirdre Drayton, 32 years old. Alejandro Barrios Martinez, 21 years old. Anthony Luis Lorean Disla, 25 years old. Juan Carlos Mendez Perez, 35 years old. Frankie Jimmy De Jesus Velasquez, 50 years old. Amanda Alvier, 25 years old. Martin Benitez Torres, 33 years old. Luis Daniel Wilson Leon, 37 years old. Mercedes Marisol Flores, 26 years old. Xavier Emmanuel Serrano Rosado, 35 years old. Gilberto Ramon Silva Menendez, 25 years old. Simon Adrian Carrillo Fernandez, 31 years old. Oscar A. Aracena Montero, 26 years old. Enrique L. Rios Jr., 25 years old. Miguel Angel Honorato, 30 years old. Javier Jorge Reyes, 40 years old. Joel Rayon Paniagua, 32 years old. Jason Benjamin Josephat, 19 years old. Corey James Connell, 21 years old. Juan P. Rivera Velasquez, 37 years old. Luis Daniel Conde, 39 years old. Shane Evan Tomlinson, 33 years old. Juan Chavez Martinez, 25 years old. Harold Arthur Wright, 31 years old. Leroy Valentin Fernandez, 25 years old. Tevin Eugene Crosby, 25 years old. Jonathan Antonio Camui Vega, 24 years old. Sean C. Nieves Rodriguez, 27 years old. Rodolfo Ayala, 33 years old. Brenda Lee Marquez McCool, 49 years old. Yilmari Rodriguez Sullivan, 24 years old. Christopher Andrew Leinelman, 32 years old. Angel L. Candelario Padro, 28 years old. Frank Hernandez, 27 years old. Paul Terrell Henry, 41 years old. Antonio Davin Brown, 29 years old. And Christopher Joseph Sanfiles, 24 years old. We also remember and hold in our hearts those others who have lost their lives and whose names we don't yet know. We think of those fighting for their lives in the hospital, those injured, others who are at Pulse Club, and of course their families, friends and loved ones.
My name is Councillor Abnawaz Akbar. I'm standing here with you this evening as a proud Muslim resident of this great diverse city of ours. I am also here as a representative of MCOM, the Manchester Council of Mosques, the umbrella organisation for the Islamic place of worship in this city. The Manchester Muslim community, like everybody else, is saddened and shocked by the senseless killings of innocents in Orlando. Our prayers and condolences go out to the families and loved ones of the victims. No religion can condone such ruthless and barbaric acts of violence, and certainly not the peaceful religion of Islam. And then, in the holy month of Ramadan, when Muslims around the world are required to think of the less fortunate, it is especially a time for doing extra charitable work and giving, and welcoming individuals from other faiths and none. What happened in Orlando was not an act of Islam, but an act of terrorism and hate. And let us be absolutely clear about this, and I hope this goes back to Sky News. This was the most extreme form of homophobic hate crime. In recent years, the Muslim community itself has seen a rise in the acts of hate crime and Islamophobia. We cannot fight injustice against some groups and not against others. Whether it is homophobia, Islamophobia, or anti-Semitism, we cannot dismantle one without the other. So I urge all Mancunians to hold fast together against such violence and hate that seeks to divide and antagonize all of us, because together we will defeat intolerance and hate and allow love to conquer. Thank you.
Chief Inspector, Greater Manchester Police. Start by saying that no amount of words can describe the terrible atrocity that has taken place in Orlando. At this moment in time, the only thing that we can do individually is to reflect and to pray and make some meaning for ourselves. I stand here on a number of platforms and a number of hats that I wear. Initially as a police officer from Greater Manchester Police, I'm proud of our areas, our boroughs, some of the most diverse city in the world, over 200 different languages, and we celebrate our difference. Nowhere that celebration is more clearer than in this village, in this park here today, as people from our LGBT communities come together to show how tolerant and how loving a community Greater Manchester is. This village in Greater Manchester is not just the pride of Manchester, it's the pride of the world, because over here people from all walks and backgrounds can come and celebrate and enjoy every moment, every occasion. And from working with the LGBT communities over the past few years through the We Stand Together campaign, I have come to learn that the members from these communities are some of the most cheerful people, some of the most joyful people, and people who like to party. And as Greater Manchester Police, we are proud of supporting that community in those aims every weekend, every day, every year, every month. Secondly, I'm hurt. I was up till 4 o'clock this morning. I was hurt reading so many different accounts of what's been happening. I am also from a minority community. I've also experienced hate crime when I was a youngster. I'm also from the Muslim community, and I also know what it is like to be on the receiving end of Islamophobia. So all I can say is that I will go further than what Bev said, that the attack in Orlando is not just an attack on all LGBT communities, it is an attack on all communities around the world. I'm going to finish off by saying that those terrible people around the world who seek to divide us, we cannot let them win. Today is an example that we are sending a message loud and clear to them that we stand here united, and no matter what they will do, we will not be divided by their hate. Let us dedicate ourselves to what the Greeks wrote centuries ago, to tame the savageness of the man and make gentle the life of this world. Let us say a prayer for Orlando, let us say a prayer for the LGBT communities, and let us say a prayer for all the people of the world. We stand together in celebration of our difference against hate and hatred against those who seek to divide us. Thank you.
Do you think Orlando can feel the love from Manchester tonight? Okay, folks, that's the sort of the formal civic part of this evening, which is over. I wonder if we maybe just put our hands together for the Lord Mayor, the Mayor of Manchester. councillor for LGBT issues, a senior police officer, a senior member of the Agent Ruling or another senior councillor. Where else would you get all of this? We've got Belinda standing beside Carl, where you've got the LGBT Foundation standing beside Sparkle. It's a wonderful city we live in, and it's so important that we send that message of love out. In about 10 minutes' time, the Manchester Lesbian and Gay Chorus are going to come out, along with that wonderful, wonderful ally that the LGB and of course T community has, Julie Hesman-Hulch, and several other people as well. However, we've got about 10 minutes, so some fabulous people are about to come out, and they're carrying with them balloons, and these balloons represent the ones that have lost their lives. Now, the balloons might not go up because it's a bit wet, so don't worry about that. We're Manchester, we can cope with that. But we've got 10 minutes, and in honour of those that have been lost in Orlando, in honour of those that never got to say that one thing to the person they loved, in honour of the people of Orlando who lost their lives and didn't get the chance to really finish and build and grow their lives. We've lost them, but we haven't lost each other. So for the next 10 minutes, this is about community. It's about turning to that friend of yours and telling that friend the thing you've always wanted to. It's about turning to your loved one and telling them really how you feel. It's about going and hugging a stranger. It's about going and kissing a stranger, maybe. It's about celebrating what we have together as a community for the next 10 minutes, as these balloons may or may not go. But thank you for coming, and we've got the choir coming in about 10 minutes' time.
Tina Fey said to Tracy when he got upset, when he was homophobic, she said, "Do not offend the gays, the most organised of the minorities." Well done, thank you for coming everybody, it's amazing to see you all. We are going to start with some music from Manchester's Lesbian and Gay Chorus. Let me hear some noise for our wonderful chorus.
inside so strong, something inside so strong.
Thank you for joining us in marking the terrible events in Orlando. Our hearts go out to the LGBTQ people of Florida, and our condolences to all of those affected by this chilling act. So much of the news has made the blood run cold, but particularly the reports of the phones of the dead ringing in the club, calls from desperate loved ones never to be answered. In the wake of such horror, we ask ourselves, why do events far away from our city move us? Why do people feel the need to reach out through channels like social media? The answer is simple. Our LGBTQ community is built on love, on compassion, on solidarity. That is who we are. That is why we reach out. We feel it keenly because this is our family. This was an attack on our family. We feel it keenly because we can imagine it being any one of us, in Via, Vanilla, Churchill's. The places we meet are vital to our family for our support. That support was attacked. We need this street, these places, more than ever at a time like this. We feel it keenly because we know the damage hate does us, how it can damage us through hate crime, as we've seen in Manchester, the deaths of transgender people we've heard about right here in Sackville Park on Transgender Day of Remembrance. We don't have easy answers to terrible events, unlike so many who were too quick to hog the media limelight. But our response, friends, is to come together. Our response is to say, we will not have our communities torn apart by hatred. We stand by the wonderful diversity that is Manchester, that is our LGBTQ family. Mr. Trump and others, read my lips. We must not let hate divide us. We must not let hate divide us. Our response must be to say we will not be frightened out of our spaces. We will not be scared of being who we are. We will not be bullied into abandoning the liberty we have won through fear. It is love. It is compassion. It is solidarity our community is built on. As ever, our victory will be to claim our right to be who we are. To assert our right to our spaces. To say that love is stronger than hate. That, friends, is our response.
Whether it is us marching through the street of this city to fight Clause 28, we know how to deal with this. We will fight hatred with love every time, because that is who we are, and it's all you need.
My goodness, there's a lot of you. Isn't that fabulous? There's so many of you turned out on this revolting evening, which probably makes you feel a little bit how we all felt yesterday. I don't know about you, I felt a bit powerless, and I felt a bit alone, and I felt a bit victimised. Even though I was sat in my little cosy flat in Whalley Range, I was like, well, that's actually brought it really home in a really horrible way. So Julie and the chorus here got on Twitter, and it kind of snowballed. And it snowballed from being something small that I was going to provide a microphone and a speaker for. Yeah, me. And then it snowballed and it snowballed, and it's this, and it's all of you. And you are wonderful for turning out tonight in this weather. And we love you for doing it. Give